Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back for a new video. So, hot topic, prepping, stockpiling, cost of groceries, where to shop, Best Buys, where you can get all this good stuff. So, I don't have all the answers. I just don't. I have some answers that have helped me, so we're going to talk. We're going to chit-chat. Grab your coffee. Pull up a nice cozy blanket. I'm saying that, and some of you are probably in like 90-degree weather, but we're chilly today. And I woke up this morning early, like 5:30. It was 44 degrees. So 2 weeks ago we were at 80 in New Jersey, and today we're at 44. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Just, you know, the body's got to kind of reposition into, okay, cool weather. And, you know, then it warms up in the afternoons. So, yeah. So, anyway, let's chat. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's doing good. So, I've got so many things in my brain that I want to do for you guys. And, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I work, and it gets in the way of me doing the videos I want to do. But it's where I am in life, and I must work to feed my family. So, speaking of feeding families, I got the coolest card ever. So I've been holding out on you guys. I've actually received several cards and packages in the mail, and I have to start showing this stuff. So somebody might recognize this card. Her name is Lisa, and Lisa sent me a beautiful condolence card because of my dad, and put a beautiful note of sentiment in there. And Lisa, I will be adding you to my prayer list because of the loss in your family. I don't want to give out too much personal information on the channel video, but I've read the card, and I've read it several times to just absorb what all you are going through yourself. And in that condolence, she also thanked me. I'll read this part because I don't feel this is on her part personal, it's more on mine. But she says, I wanted to thank you for being being practical on prepping and keeping it simple and affordable. And then she went on to say a few other things. And then she says, I also enclosed a $5 bill. If you can believe this, this like blew my mind, as a reminder that prepping doesn't need to cost much. So quickly, there's the card, and there is the $5 bill. Lisa, I have hung on to this. I actually, where is it? Let me see. I have a planner. I'm a planner girl. And your card has sat in my planner since I received it about 10 days ago. And I had a hard time like thinking that, I'm going to get choked up saying this, but that somebody would think enough of me to send me a card like this, with a note the way you did. I didn't even read you all half the note that she wrote, and the note was beyond touching. And to leave that, I have a picture frame, Dollar Tree, yes, oh yes. I have a picture frame, and I'll show that on the next video, that I am putting this card in along with the $5. And I want to hang that right in where I keep my stockpile. And you, Lisa, you need to know that you made an impact on my life. I just did a podcast, and it actually aired today. It was part 2 on leaving an impact on a person's life, and that's what we should be doing in a positive way. And Lisa, if you're listening, I hope you are. I hope you hear this. I cannot thank you enough for thinking that much of me, for what you wrote, what you sent, and the love that went behind it. So thank you so much. She is one viewer that I will never forget. And I will show you that picture frame on the next video. But I just wanted to like give a shout out to Lisa. And listen, if there's somebody in your life that you just feel led to do right by, do a note, do a card, do a something, do it. Life's too short. Do it. Just do it, because people need to be lifted up. And yeah, you know, we all have those days where you're kind of like, do I even make a difference? And you know what, Lisa, you just confirmed in that little note and that $5 that what I do makes a difference in a life. And if I can help someone, that's what I want my channel to be all about, is helping and reaching out and connecting. And sharing what my little knowledge that I have, maybe that can make a difference in someone's life and get them started. So, get those tears rolled back. So I have two big banquets, I guess you'd say, where I work today. And I did one this morning into the afternoon. I have like a couple hour break, and I'm on my way back. I'm looking at the clock over there, and the time is ticking away. So I'm going to get done with this video and get this up tonight for you guys. I have another one that'll kind of pair up with this one that'll hopefully be up tomorrow, if not the next night. And so questions. I get a lot of questions, both in emails and in the comments, and then just people around that are somewhat local that watch my videos on, do you really stockpile? Do you really buy that amount of groceries? And why do you do it? And all this kind of stuff. And some are curious. Some really want to know because it's not something they do. Some want to know, like, am I for real? Like, am I a nut job? Yeah. No. We need certain things in life. We need clothing, because obviously we don't want everybody to see what's under here. Some might look better than others, but even still, cover up. We need shelter because we need to stay out of the elements. And we need food and water to survive life. We cannot live without food and water. And last year, at the beginning of all the craziness in 2020, February, March, life changed dramatically for all of us. And I have a friend who, her and I used to joke about, like, when New Jersey, when there's a snowflake, especially in the area I live where there's a lot of seniors, and I'm a senior, but they're like seniors. There's a snowflake, they panic. Whoop, go to the store. There's no bread, there's no milk, there's no water, there's no butter, there's no eggs, all the basics. And then, next day the delivery truck comes, fills it up, and all is good. And we used to joke about, well, you always have a can of green beans in the house. Like, why is everybody panicking? Well, last year, that kind of changed my perspective on that a little bit. And even though I've always had a stockpile, it was a little different, because when we ran out of certain foods, we're messaging each other on Facebook. Anybody see where you can buy canned tomatoes, or whatever the case might be? So things changed, and delivery trucks aren't out as much, and whatever. Things have just changed a wee bit. So as much as we joked about that can of green beans, most people do have something in the house that they can survive on, but some do not. And I am a firm believer in having a minimum. I don't care if you're a family of one or a family of 1,000, a minimum of 2 weeks of something that you should have in your house. I don't care if it's saltines and peanut butter. That's okay. You'll survive. You'll be okay. Yes, it's not fresh fruits and vegetables, and yes, it's not organic, and I know I'll hear those people that saying you shouldn't have that, but listen, I'm not talking about, living life on the regular and what we should or shouldn't be eating. I'm talking about things to have in case of an emergency. That's the type of foods that I'm talking about. Let's take a break from there right now. What do you eat on the regular? People, I've had comments about, you shouldn't. Listen, you watch my videos, you see me for 10 minutes, you see me for a few minutes, and I talk about certain things. You do not know my entire life. So you don't see the roasted broccoli and carrots and the bags of salad and the fresh fruits and all the other fresh veggies and this and that and the next thing. Yes, that we do eat. Some is organic and some it is not organic, but we have plenty of healthy foods. In addition to that, we're human beings, and we enjoy our trinkets of junk food once in a while, and have ice cream and cookies and all that, as well as we live on canned goods once in a while. Sometimes it is what it is. It's quick and easy, and for me to go out to, even like now, good grief, go to a fast food restaurant. For us to go to like Chick-fil-A, I love Chick-fil-A, nothing against Chick-fil-A, or to go to McDonald's, anything like that, you're talking anywhere from $25 to $35 for a family of 3 for a meal. Now, Chick-fil-A to me is a little bit more fulfilling and sustaining, and we're not starving an hour later. But some of these other fast food places, the burger, you know, if you hold the burger up, you can almost see through it. It's so thin. And an hour later, you know, everybody's like, we're hungry. So then what do you say? Well, I guess we'll go home and get something to eat. Well, we could have done that in the first place and probably saved, you know, 25, 30 bucks and did something else. So we do eat healthy, but I do feel you need a stockpile for the emergencies. Now, I cannot stockpile fresh produce. I cannot stockpile fresh fruit. I cannot stockpile milk, fresh milk, not, you know, shelf stable. I cannot stockpile eggs. So when I talk stockpile, I'm not talking about my everyday pantry things that I keep, you know, in the refrigerator, the freezer, and that kind of thing. I'm talking about the things for the future, for an emergency, and so on. So here's my questions for you today. Got a pen? Write these down. We're going to do it. Who should stockpile? Everybody. Well, I'm a you know, single person, and I live by myself. I don't have any family. I have no kids. I've got no, you know, partner in life, and you know, and I live in a tiny little studio apartment, and I don't have much room, and yada yada yada. I don't care. I don't care where you live. You can live in a cardboard box. You should stockpile. Who should stockpile? Everybody should stockpile. When should you stockpile? Right now. Today. Start today. If you haven't started, start today. Well, I have no money. Well, do you have $1? Yeah. Okay. Go get 1 can of something. Get 1 item to put in your stockpile. Just 1. That's all. You start with 1 thing. Now, I did a video on how to start a stockpile for $5. Yeah, I got $5. Now, maybe you don't have $5. No problem. What do you have? What do you have? Got $1? You don't have $1. Let's say I don't even have $1. I am so broke I don't even have $1. No problem. Get a jar, get a mug, get something, and start putting your pocket change in it. You know, at the end of every day you come home, whatever change you have jingling around in your pocket, you put in there. Maybe it's 9 cents today and it's 7 cents tomorrow, and so on, until you get $1. Then you go buy your first item for your stockpile. There's no excuse. And my grandmother used to say, if there's a will, there's a way. You've got to start taking care of you. You need to take care of you. You know what? When you have a stockpile, it's like that. Oh, I got food in the stockpile. It's physically sustaining because it's going to feed you, but mentally, it also makes you feel like I'm okay. You know, snowstorms coming. I'm okay. I got food in the stockpile. Hurricanes coming. Got food in the stockpile. You know, got to get my car repaired and it's going to be in the shop for 10 days. Got food in the stockpile. I'm going to be okay. I know people that, out of choice, not because of money, they shop once a week. They use that food up. They replenish it every week. What happens if you get sick? What happens if you don't feel good? What happens if you just don't want to go out and shop? And you want to take your day off and just sit in your pajamas and watch Hallmark Christmas movies all day, and you want to enjoy yourself. If you have a stockpile, you can do that. Why should you stockpile? Well, we've kind of answered some of that. Why should you? Because you could get sick. You might, you know, have time off from work for various reasons. You might have car trouble. You might have storm situations. Financially, you know, I work full time, and I don't know, you have the same bills every month, and how does it some months seem better than others? I don't know. You ever have that month where it's super lean, and then the next month you seem to have a few extra dollars? I don't know exactly how that works. It doesn't always work out on paper, but when you're finding yourself struggling, like this month is, it's going to be kind of tight, you know what? That's when you can go back to your stockpile and use up what you have in there. So getting back to, you know, early 2020, those of us that had a stockpile, it was interesting. I had one, but I didn't, how do I say it? Not that I didn't think much of it, but it was just there. It's because it was, you know, I always have a few extra cans. My mom always raised us, you always have a few things on hand. You just never know. My mom would never really have a full-blown sentence with that, but she would just say, you never know. You just never know. And my mom always had a few extra things, or if a guest was coming over, an unexpected company, you can open up that extra can of green beans and, do an extra vegetable on the table to spread out the food. So if I take my mom's advice, you just have extra just because. So why should you do it? Just because. All these things, there could be 1,000,001 reasons why things change in life. And you should have extra food on hand. Going back to, again, to early 2020, and I had a stockpile, I didn't think much of it until all of a sudden things got really crazy, and, they were only allowing so many people in the store, and then things were running out, and I watched those around me. I think that's when it hit, when people around me started panicking because they didn't have things. They didn't have certain foods. Now, the other thing my mom always taught me, and it was a good lesson to learn, well, if you don't have this, you do that. And if you don't have that, you do that. We can survive without certain things. We have become a people, not everywhere, but, in my circle of people, that we like this and we don't like that. Oh, I don't eat that. I don't eat this. And we become very particular, which is okay. You go to a restaurant, you're going to order off the menu. You're going to order what you like, and you're not going to order the other things. But when your push comes to shove and you've got to eat, well, you can't always get that brand of milk. You might have to get that brand of milk. You're going to be okay. But it was really interesting to me just watching the panic of people and how all of a sudden everybody was realizing they didn't have cans of soup, or they didn't have whatever in their home, and I kind of sat back and I thought, well, I need a few things, but I'm pretty good. And I didn't realize how good I was until that panic happened. I was short of a few things, and some of the things on the regular I would run out of. But honestly, I assessed at what was in my freezer. I have a chest freezer, a small one. I have the freezer above my refrigerator, and I have what I call the pantry, my everyday pantry that I use, and my spices and baking things. And then I looked at what was in my stockpile, and I kind of looked at it, and I said to my husband, we're pretty good. We need a few things, and I had just canned a number of things, like home canned. I said, I think we can survive a whole year. Most likely. I think we could survive a year. If I had to, if I really had to hunker down and do this, I could survive a year. So through this last, it's been over a year now, maybe 18 months, 19 months, whatever, we have used a lot of our stockpile up, kind of as fillers, and different people. We have friends in need, and we've packed stuff up and we've gifted it and so on. I have replenished, a little bit here and a little bit there, but not enough that I can say I'd probably have a year's worth. So right now, I would say between November, December, and January, my goal, maybe February, we'll see, my goal will be to restock up enough that I have a year's worth of food. I will say it again. I am not stockpiling fresh fruits and vegetables. They will grow old and moldy in a year. That will be something I buy weekly, bi-weekly to replenish my refrigerator for my everyday food. I'm talking about things that I can refer to if push comes to shove and I need a quick meal, or push comes to shove and I can't get out and shop. I have a can of soup. I have things in my stockpile that I can use. Ooh, yeah. Here's a question for you that I'm going to end with. Where do you buy your stuff? This was also interesting to me because in the beginning of all this craziness last year, people were panicking. No toilet paper, no paper towels, no cleaning supplies, no sugar, no whatevers. I was okay. I had plenty in the house. I had plenty, and you know, as time went on, of course I have to, restock. But in those first 4 months, I was not desperate. And it's interesting when you can sit back and watch others who are desperate and kind of like just look around of, first of all, I did pretty good. And second of all, they're all like panicking, running to the grocery store. So I want to give you a couple of tips on that. Things that I learned. Grocery store, of course, you go to the grocery store. Who wouldn't go to the grocery store? But don't discount other places. There's your regular grocery store. There's discount grocery stores. There's Dollar General. They have, bread, they have milk, they have eggs, they have cereal, they have plenty. They have plenty of supplies. I'm going to say it. You know it. I got to say it. The Dollar Tree. Don't discount what you can get at the Dollar Tree. You can get a dozen eggs. Now, maybe Aldi and places like that have it for 24 cents, 89 cents, 69 cents. They vary. A dozen. But if they're out, the Dollar Tree sells eggs, and I'll say it again, and I've said it over and over, the same chickens that lay eggs for ShopRite grocery store lay eggs that they sell at the Dollar Tree. It is not a different chicken. It's the same chicken. So I have people that tell me they would never eat eggs from the dollar store. Okay, I don't know what chickens you think they have, but, anyway. Got a hair, and it's driving me crazy. Woo. Okay, so that's some places. But here's a few other things. During that time, I had to run to Home Depot with my mom to get something. Guess what they had? Toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, cases of water. Interesting. Lowe's, same thing. I ran into Staples to get some planner supplies that I needed. Guess what I found? Toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, sugar, what else? Coffee, not everyday, stuff like soups and stuff, but some of those household things they had. So, kind of Big Lots and I don't know, some of these other places. If something were to happen again and you run to your store and they don't have it, think of other places that carry stuff. I was like kind of with my eyes open going, I got to make note of this. Your hardware stores sell stuff, your Home Depots, your Lowe's. Every store sells a variety of things. We have a store called the Christmas Tree Shop. They sell cases of water and they sell coffee. They sell pancake mix and they sell muffin mix and baking goods and every kind of flour, like the oat flour to the rice flour to the almond flour to regular flour. They have it all. They have sugars, they have jellies, they have tea, they have spices, they have soup mixes, they have cans of soup, they have some cans of beans. They have a variety of oddball things. There are stores out there that carry a variety of things that many people just didn't even think about. And I would go, it was funny, I'll tell you, and I'll end with this. ShopRite is a local grocery store. We went into ShopRite, and this was probably April-ish, I don't know, April, May. There was not one box of pasta. I mean, nothing. Not the store brand, not the fancy brands, not the fancy schmancy brands that you pay $5 a box for pasta. There was not a lick of pasta. The whole aisle, empty, 100%. And I hear everybody panicking, oh, I need pasta for my kids. What am I going to do? Well, about 5 doors away is a Dollar Tree. And my mom and I went in there after the grocery store. How much pasta do you want? Their shelves were loaded with pasta. So don't put that pressure on yourself to say, there's nothing at the store. There's nothing at that store. Look to other stores. Look for alternative stores, alternative, things that you wouldn't think, would they carry that? Check it out and see what they have. I have in my planner, I make like a little list, what I find at the dollar store, what I find at Trader Joe's that I like, and so on. Now I've just made, in case of emergency, look at these other stores, and they carry some stuff that I could use. Hope this was helpful. The who, when, why, and where of stockpiling. And thank you again, Lisa. Oh, you made my day. Thanks for coming over, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next video.